Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 128 of SOLD with Updike Pugh.
I'm Jeff Updike.
I'm Weston Pugh, and we've got a great show in store for you today. We're going to take a look at a home over in Vanguard Heights, and the second one?
The second one we're going to look at is in Del Mar.
Del Mar.
Lower Greenville Avenue area.
Great area.
Yeah.
This house is both of these houses are ones you definitely don't want to miss. In the second segment, we're talking about what to do when it's hot this summer. Get ahead of that.
Yes, there are, we're going to talk about 5 different little river getaways that are within 3 hours of Dallas that you can jump in the car, run to for the day, come back. There's all kinds of stuff to do. So,
all kinds of stuff you can do right now.
With all of these people moving to Texas right now, we feel like we need to share some of the really cool reasons of living here in the summer.
And if you already live in Texas, you're always like, wow, there's so many people moving here from out of state. It's amazing. No, it's a great time. It was, 'tis the season again. Market is going gangbusters right now. I feel like we discussed earlier. It is a beat the bushes for your buyers, and then it is a buckle your seatbelts for your listings. Mm-hmm. It is shaping up. Is it a win-win for both sides right now, Jeff?
It's really geared toward the seller side, I think.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a buyer, you win because of your interest rate. But
yeah, there's pros and cons on both sides of it, but I think the market in general is geared more towards seller right now.
It is an interesting time. We actually were visiting with clients earlier this week, and they were able to buy a house and are getting it ready for themselves, but they want to take advantage of the current market. So we're actually looking at rentals for them to move in the interim so that their current home they can bring on the market. So it's a very interesting time as far as being creative. We've talked about it before, but if the 401ks are there and it is a sell-buy transaction, this is a really great time to be able to get ahead and make some strong offers. It's remarkable at how quick a 401k is able to get that money into your account as well. So it's a lot of stuff that we've been doing, trying to be creative for both our buyers and our sellers right now.
And really, I think all this creativity has really paid off because there have been several people in our sphere that have wanted to sell a house and buy their new one. And right now, getting a seller to accept a contingency contract is impossible. Yep. So you really do have to be in a position to sell your current home, go to temporary housing, or let us figure out how to help you buy your new home, do the move, and then let us sell the old one. That, we haven't had anybody really in the last, I think, 18 months that has been kind of stuck in the middle of that. We've always been able to get both ends of it accomplished and completed.
One of the other things that we constantly are bumping into is certain websites that people have become accustomed to using, and they don't really update that information. And so what we're finding is that a lot of times they're getting excited about something, and that house that they are excited about and maybe wasting too much time on is actually under contract. So there really needs to be a defined set, and you need to make sure that you're using those websites or apps that are getting that feed from MLS as fast and as accurate as they can, because otherwise it's you got excited, you want to go see, it's gone. Yeah. So it is a stay busy kind of market. It's not impossible for sure, but it is a stay busy kind of market. So
what did you do this weekend?
Actually, I knew he was going to ask me that, and I was racking my brain, Jeff. I was like, dang it, what did I do? I think the weather was really bad one day, and so I think that it was kind of low key. I know that I was showing Lee a condo, and then someone else a condo, and I think that was basically it. Other than that, it was just push the amendments, go through the repairs, kind of a weekend. So it was all right. And you?
I worked all morning Saturday. I got done about 11:30 and 3 clients that morning,
Okay.
which were really good. And then we had our, we call them our RBF friends.
Oh, good.
All came over on Saturday afternoon and
Hang out.
yeah, hung out. Just, yeah, from like, everybody got there at like 1 or 2 in the afternoon and everybody left at 1 o'clock in the morning. So it was,
It was a good RBF
it was
group.
a good RVF group. It was a lot of fun, a lot of laughter, a lot of really, really fun friendship time.
You know what? I think that we're seeing more and more of that as we get to where we're vaccinated and you're able to like go out and enjoy. I know that one of the big things that I've been able to do is actually join a gym, and it's been wonderful. I feel like I have needed that so much, both when I stand on the scales and just for my mental state. It was funny because I felt like I had a huge workout yesterday, and I was like, I slept from 10 until 7 and did not move. And I was like, I can't tell you last time that happened. So I'm really enjoying getting back into the gym. So
Getting back into the gym.
so time. Ah. All right. So what's our first house, Jeff?
Let's talk about this first house that is at 60 Vanguard Way. And this is in an amazing neighborhood that is called Urban Reserve. And it was begun development, I think it was either in the late 1990s, maybe it was early 2000s. But a small sliver of land that is right next to White Rock Creek was developed into a private neighborhood. There are 50 homes in this neighborhood, and they all have a homeowners association that has very restrictive covenants in terms of what the product is used that is built, what it's going to look like after it's done, because they really wanted to create this very contemporary, modern cluster of homes where people could invest heavily into that modern and contemporary style and not worry that they're doing it in a neighborhood where they would not be getting their money back.
Absolutely. And it's interesting because we've had clients in this neighborhood, and you know, when you read the bylaws, I think one of the most interesting phrases that I've ever seen is there's no architectural gymnastics allowed. Not really sure how to spot for that and how they get scored, but at the end of the day, it has created a neighborhood that has a very specific feel to it, unlike any other in Dallas, I believe. They've done a really good job of actually choosing the location just due to the fact that it has that creek that runs by, and it also has a walkway that's really nice. And so you see these architects that have been approved to actually build in the neighborhood, and they've come up with some amazing, amazing homes. Typically, these also show up on tours, and you'll also see that as you come into the neighborhood, 4 or 5 of these homes actually have a front yard that is actually a small pond, and there's bridges that go over. So it's a really interesting concept, very well executed as well, as you'll see in this listing that we have to show you at 60 Vanguard Way. This is a 5-bedroom, 5 full, 1 half, 2-car garage, and it is spectacular.
And this was done by Marek Architecture, and you'll notice on the outside of this that you've got the cut Luder stone veneer, and then these are also custom milled cypress siding that you see above the entryway that goes across the front of it there.
Now, one of the great things about these homes is because each one of them was designed by a specific architect, not one of them look the same. So though they have a common theme being modern, they're never going to look the same. As you walk in here, you can see that the close-up of the limestone, wide entry, you have a really great, almost industrial grade pivot door.
And as you enter in, the dining room is one of the first rooms that you see, and this is a really good example of how they just add the small touches into it. Like this is a kind of a corner window in a way, just because of the way it juts out a bit. The lighting in this home is absolutely phenomenal, and it is, you can tell that they put so much effort and time into choosing each fixture. It's not just a room full of can lights.
Right, and homes like these aren't built to be quick and fast, and so what it does is it allows a lot more focus to be taken on the angles, as you'll see in this house, but also really create that indoor-outdoor living. And as you move over into this combination room of both dining, living and kitchen, you'll see again how that works so well with the inside to the outside.
And these are polished concrete floors. They did I can't remember the term that is done with it, but they actually polish them down to the aggregate exposure.
So it has like a travertine feel.
Yeah, and it is really, there's only very few homes I've seen that have done this, but This kitchen was done really well with, it's got 2 sinks, actually 3 sinks if you count the bar sink there.
4 sinks if you count the bar.
4 sinks if you count the bar. And it done amazingly well. Looks right out on this living room. As you can tell, they put the electric fireplace down in there, low on the wall. Perfect placement for the TV for entertainment there. And you have seating, bar seating at the kitchen, but this is done very interesting way with the add-on at the end.
Yep. And so you can see here, this is a great way you can see that the backsplash is actually going to be frosted, we call them transom windows. And so it really does create that indoor-outdoor feel again. Great job with the selects. You're going to notice here that they have 4 sinks, so there's 1 at the wet bar, there's 2 at the front, and then there's 1 that separates between the 2 windows on the backsplash. And it is an amazing concept. When we looked into the sink, it actually had tracks. So you can see here they've actually have like a cutting board, and then they have an inserted bowl that's really great. On either side of the sinks, you also have cooktops.
Cooktops.
Yeah, so you basically can cook on either side of this. To me, I almost felt like we were going to have a cooking show that was going to be there.
This is the perfect house to have cooking competition in.
It is amazing, and if you look, you can see through the glass refrigerator that was there, and the Wolf ovens are actually touch, and then they hydraulically come down, which is really a great feel. And I believe the 3rd fridge is in the pantry that is just around.
That is correct. And again, this all opens up to the living room, which has the double wide slider doors that open up. This is as you go upstairs into the master bedroom, and the master bedroom is huge.
It is, and what is even more amazing is this covered outdoor patio that is off that. If you look out to the patio, you can also see there's a window that is actually into the bathroom. So it does create a space that is usable and has a lot of views from everything. When you step out onto this balcony, you can see in the far background the little red cushions. That is a sunken fire pit area. So again, we're being able to really use, view, and enjoy this house from so many different angles.
Yeah, and you've got 192 square feet to work with on that outdoor patio there.
That's a lot of space.
This is the master bath with the dual vanities in it. These are floating vanities. It has a separate tub, separate shower. The lighting that they used, all of this LED lighting was done very, very well. And once again, they've used the transom lighting across the top of the wall to allow a lot of exterior light, but it's a filtered light.
Yeah, so we've got the standalone tub, and they've done a really good job of creating more of the earth tones, and so you'll see them both in the cabinet material, but then in a very unique concept for both towels and for decorative there with the small ladder, seamless shower enclosure as you would expect, and then they've done a really good job of wrapping that. When you come into the closet, you're going to notice that the closet has a very long dresser table. It's in a very interesting height. It's about just below your waist. And both Jeff and I were like, and I think it would work really good for folding. And I say that because there you can see there are 2 washers and 2 dryers in the closet as well.
And this is a small seating area right at the top of the staircase. And it's kind of a triangular corner that this comes into, which this home has a lot of, but they've used them very well,
Right.
where they always have them end up being, like a small place to sit in or something like that. It's unwasted space.
And so I like to call this as an outdoor office. So this is off of that game room that Jeff was or that outdoor, or that seating area that Jeff was just describing. And what's really great, again, this is covered and it's got tons of space. Now let's move downstairs.
Yeah, this is outdoors right off the living room and the kitchen. And you've got the outdoor kitchen built in there with the big, this is the Big Red Egg, which I guess is a different brand of them. But plenty of outdoor seating. You've already got water out there, and then you've got this artificial lawn that goes all the way out to this seating area that's somewhat submerged.
And if you'll see there in the behind, the same material that's used on the house is actually used there to create this step down area. And as you turn around and go back towards the house, you can see it's about 5 steps down, and it is so well done. If you look on the right hand side, they've got wall of bamboo for privacy, and that is inside of a Core 10 potting concept. amazing space.
Really is. 60 Vanguard Way. It's a 5-bedroom, 5 full bath, 1 half bath, 2-car garage, built in 2016, a little over 4,600 square feet, priced at $1,699,000, and that is $364 a square foot. And we wanted to say thank you to Jason Bates for letting us talk about his home today.
It's an amazing one. In the comments, you're going to see a link, and you'll be able to click on that, get more information of the home, and also be able to look at the rest of the pictures because we weren't able to use all of them. If you'd like to take a look at this house, this is probably going to be one of the ones to give us a call. It is agent to meet, but we can make that happen as well. Great home.
It really is. And our next one today, we're going to jump over to what is called Delmar Estates, and it's part of the Vickery neighborhood, Lower Greenville Avenue, 5913 Vickery Boulevard. Really a wonderful newer construction, but they've really kept with the style of the neighborhood.
It is a great area, and you're absolutely right. This is one of those neighborhoods that's pretty much epicenter adjacent. You can get over to Knox Henderson, where everything is. Easily drift north and be on Mockingbird and get all the way to the other side of the lake. And then you are in the lake, and Lakewood is right around the corner. As you can see, Teetsy Park. Don't want to miss Teetsy Park. Lots of evenings are, I believe they've got workouts like Gladiator Fitness out there. There's a little track that goes all the way around. I would say this is one of the little neighborhood go-tos for both what's to the east and to the west of this small little area.
Yeah, it really is. And you have such accessibility if you either bike to work or drive to work. You've really got great accessibility all the way over to 75. You've got good accessibility down Greenville Avenue, which brings you, to that corner of Ross Avenue in Greenville that takes you directly into town, into downtown.
I love this neighborhood. This portion of East Dallas is just perfect for me. I like the fact that it's not on the east side of the lake. I feel like getting back to 75 and being able to commute makes it so much easier in this area. Again, you've got really great access to both Fitzhugh and to Henderson as well. And as you see here, as Jeff said, this is a newer construction home, and so they've done a really good job of keeping with what was built there. Again, it is a newer, so this has more of an American bungalow style. A little more difficult for us to be able to get a true and clear picture just because there is that oak that's coming up. But as you see, you got a little front porch and a really great wooden garage door that just kind of begins to add to the flavor of this little house.
It really does. And as you step in, this is the first room that's on the right-hand side. It's a little office area that they use. Could be a formal dining room, a formal living room if that's the way that you want to live. They've got the shutters in that room, which they did not carry over into the dining room, I thought, which was really a good move because you don't really need them in the dining room.
And one of the things here, it's hard to see, but look in the ceiling. There's really great detailing in the ceiling. And then Chip and Joanna approved this wainscot. Wainscot is a little higher, which makes it unique. It's about 5 feet, so I think it's just over my eye height. And it transitions into a butler pantry as well. So a really simple flow as you come into the front door. Again, you've got your office on your left or your right hand side, and then next step is going to be into this dining room.
And this is the butler's pantry that goes between the dining room and the kitchen. They carried the granite into this. You can use this. They use it as a coffee bar, obviously. Could make a great bar area if that's what you needed. But if you did have just want to have that little center place to kind of put things as they come out of the kitchen right before you serve them, it's the perfect location for that.
And so the kitchen is a really well done, well thought out. So the cabinets go all the way to the ceiling, all the way to the roof, and you've got them lit in glass at the top. That's check number one. You've got microwave and both ovens in one contained spot. That's a great configuration. The separation of color from the lower cabinets into the kitchen island, again, that's what we want, but we've taken it one step further, stained it to the almost exact same color as the floor. Now, what I really like is I'm not always crazy about seeing a vent-a-hood, so I like that the vent-a-hood here is wrapped in what we would call cabinet material. It just kind of creates more of a seamless, especially when you're looking at creating a home that has this open concept. If you're really dedicated to that look, you got to go for it. And here they've done a really good job of keeping it nice and clean.
And the banquette that kind of flows into that kitchen, I think just really makes a lot of sense there. As we step into the living room, we've got the corner fireplace, which has all of the architectural detail that you really need to stay in this craftsman style home. Weston and I were commenting that it worked really well that they put that fireplace on the wall, the corner that they did, because otherwise you would have ended up losing one of those back windows going out. And just from a visual feel, it felt so much better.
Yep, and here's that banquette Jeff was mentioning, and past that banquette is a pantry, and that pantry is really great because it has a connection for both a fridge, and then it also has a little area for a mudroom for the kids when they drop off everything. The windows that Jeff was mentioning are there in the very center. It would be the one closest to that wall that the TV is on. That usually gets taken up by the fireplace. But instead, we've got 3 windows and a glass door, which makes a really great setting point for light to come in. And again, great room for that.
Yeah, and it's a really large room. I don't think the picture quite shows the enormity of it. This one, even with this is really big furniture that's in it, but you do not feel crowded at all as you walk through this.
Ceiling height is really good, and as we step back into that corner where that window is, this would allow you to take and look back. One of the things I want to point out is that they've done a really good job with the newel posts on the stairs. So those are the 2 pieces that come down. They're stained to the exact same color as that island and close to the wood floor. One of the things that we did note is that this builder did not go cheap. They actually took those newel posts and took them all the way around the house.
And these are some of the guest rooms as you get up into the second story. They are really nice sized rooms. Or each of them have a bath en suite.
They're either Jack and Jill or en suite.
Thank you, that's correct. And then there are 2 other rooms that are also up on this level that are about the same size. Obviously, this one's probably got their daughter that lives in it. It's pretty bright pink. Well, light pink, I guess.
The last room that we're going to look at, again, you're going to see a really good size. One of the things that we've seen is that they've kept the ceiling height. A lot of times, one of the quickest ways for a builder to make a grab is going to be to actually decrease the size of the ceilings on the second floor, but here we have not seen that. We've got really good space. One of the things else that you don't really realize until you're trying to position your furniture is how many of the walls are taken up. Here you can see that you have a full wall, and then they have just a good amount of space to the right of that window. On the other wall where the S is, you see you have that transition into this Jack and Jill bathroom. And here you see you're going to have a sink for each bathroom, doors on either side to close off both the toilet and the shower. So it does work out really well for an active family. Super clean, super simple.
And I think this next bath is going to be just an ensuite bath, if I'm not mistaken, that's off of that first bedroom that we saw. Again, great location, great layout for that second floor.
So when you come back downstairs, the master is going to be on the first floor. Again, it's great. It opens up to the backyard, and it also has a really great walk-in large bathroom. Unfortunately, we didn't get those pictures put in here, but we will have that link available for you, MNLS. As I was mentioning earlier, this is that pantry. The pantry was just to the other side of the seating area,
banquette, yeah.
And you've got a great space. What they've done here that I think is really smart is they've added a drying rack, and the drying rack sits above both the washer and the dryer and allows you to just pull everything out and keep it nice and smooth.
And you've got these really big, well-landscaped backyards. You've got outdoor living space that is covered, so you're not, you can get out there even when it's raining and hang out outside.
Yep, and you've got a good amount of landscaping. Again, not so much that it takes over everything and creates an amazing amount of water to be used on a monthly basis, or prevent you from being able to get outside and enjoy, whether it's 2 or 4 legs. It's a great backyard.
So 5913 Vickery Boulevard, it's a 4-bedroom, 3 full bath, 1 half bath, 2-car garage, built in 2013. It's almost 3,400 square feet, and it's priced at $1,049,000.
Yep, and we want to say thank you so much to Lindsay Howard for letting us feature that home. It's amazing, and again, in the comments, there'll be a link. You'll be able to see all of the photos, get more information, and if this is something that you'd like to see, we'd be happy to make that happen.
And with that, we'll be right back.
There are lots of ways to keep up with us. Visit and like our Facebook page to watch us live and get updates about future show topics. Also, visit our Instagram account where you can see the latest homes we have for sale. You can also check out our website at updikepugh.com, where you can create customized searches of active and sold homes that you may find of interest. If you'd like to know how much your home is worth, visit homeprice.fyi and you can get a price instantly. Just enter your address and a couple of other pieces of information and we will email you a price. If you are on the go and podcasts are better for you, our second segments are available on iTunes and Spotify. Last of all, you can reach out to us by phone or text at 214-377-2223.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the second segment of Sold with Updike Pugh, episode 128.
128.
Yep.
That's a lot of episodes.
It
It's
is.
a lot of talking. Oh my gosh.
So today, we're going to
speaking of
talk
talking.
about, we have so many people moving to Texas that we wanted to share some of the things that we really enjoy about getting out and being able to enjoy summertime here. It does get really hot here in the summer, but we've got some ways to cool off that you don't have in a lot of other states.
That's right. And so many people come here and they're used to either being around mountains or having a beach just around the corner. And Texas is really huge. And so because of that size, there's a lot of lakes, there's a lot of rivers. And so we just wanted to point out what's close by. And by close in Texas terms, we mean 4 hours or less. And wanted to share these with you because it is time to get out. One of the things is that as we've learned through this pandemic, that planning ahead is really important. So these areas all have parks. One of the most important things to do is to log on to the different websites as we discuss and make sure that you're able to get into the park. And if you're going to spend the night, definitely think ahead and get those permits because one of the first things that we did last year was we went to the dinosaur park and it was 2 hours away, took the bikes. We're not even going to stay. Just want to do some biking. It was like that first weekend or second weekend that there was a little bit of lift in the closures. And we were the 100th car at noon that was turned away because the park was already full. So with that being said, these are great. Plan ahead.
The first place that we were going to talk about today is the Brazos River. And the Brazos River is the longest river in the state of Texas. It's 840 miles long.
It's enormous.
Yes. Now, so you can access this at several different points along the way. The place that we looked into was accessing it just outside Mineral Wells, which is about 2.5 hours to the west of us here.
And it actually is what helped create Possum Kingdom. And if you've ever been to Possum Kingdom, amazing lake. It's really deep, probably one of the deepest lakes that we have here in Texas.
Probably true, yeah.
And one of the most amazing things is that as it cuts through the area, it created really high cliffs. And so you can go out to Hell's Gate. And I believe it is either Labor Day or Memorial Day. There is a cliff diving competition that is sponsored by Red Bull, and it is fairly amazing.
Yeah, I hear that's really hard to physically get to. I think you can watch it live on ESPN or something like that. But the boat rentals all rent out like a year in advance of that event.
We've been to it one time, and I think that it was only acceptable because it was a pontoon with a cover because you're in the middle of nowhere. And this is Hell's Gate. You enter on either side, and I'm gonna say, I think it was, if you look back at that picture, I think it was on the right. I think that's where they jumped from.
Interesting.
Anyway, it's amazing. Brazos River, as Jeff was saying, goes all the way. I think it crosses under or beside 35 at one point. And the only reason I say that is because years and years ago, I saw there was a flood that was happening on my way to San Antonio, and I remember seeing that it was almost at the height of the highway.
Interesting.
So
our second place that we're going to recommend you go to is Joe Pool Lake. Joe Pool Lake is a lake that is really right here in the Metroplex, probably easily an hour to the farthest point on the lake. And this was a dammed reservoir that was created back in the 80s. It offers fishing, all kinds of recreational activity, boating, camping. There are organized campsites. There are some unorganized campsites out there, RV places, a little bit of everything. The two places that you have campsites at are the Lloyd Park and the Cedar Creek State Park, or Cedar Hill State Park.
And there are actually 3 parks or 4 parks down there, and I believe at least 3 of them do have docks. One of them, I believe, you have to pay to use, but the others you might not have to pay. Again, this is one of those things you got to do a little bit of research before you head out, but it's a great lake, and it is one of the treasures that we have here in DFW.
The next one we were going to tell you about is the Comal River. The Comal River is the shortest navigable river in the state of Texas.
And I believe it's also mentioned in Lonesome Dove, one of my favorite books by Larry McMurtry.
Interesting.
May he rest in peace. Anyway, this is a great little this is a great little space. Edwards Aquifer, this is what feeds into San Antonio and Austin. This is how they get their water. This is getting closer as we step in towards the hill country area. So great spaces. This is one of those ones that you want to go visit summer. Summer, spring, and fall, not so much in the winter. Lots of good floating on this one.
Yeah, the water is consistently, because of the spring it comes from, the water is consistently 72 to 74 degrees year round.
Which is great when it's 100 degrees in August. It's amazing. As we talk about these rivers, some of the things to keep in mind is that if it's a lot of rain has happened, and it doesn't have to rain in the area that you're headed to, but if it rains north of that area, sometimes it can affect whether they're going to open the rivers or not. The same is true if there's not. I have actually floated one of these rivers before, and what should have taken 45 minutes actually took us 4 hours, and we paddled ourselves the entire way. So with that being said, this is just one of those things, it's amazing, or that wasn't so cool. So
Yeah, some of it are, and sometimes the water's so low you got to pick it up and carry it.
I've done that.
Section,
I've done it.
The Comal River is also down by the San Marcos River, and the San Marcos River is in San Marcos. Both of these are great tubing places. I've been to both of them several times, and the Comal is a little faster. The San Marcos is a little bit slower. It's really about, like, you could make that a 4 to 6 hour float on the San Marcos River.
Absolutely. And the great thing about San Marcos is that, as Jeff's talking about, it has so much to do in the water and floating, and it has such a great tradition. But the other thing is that the town of San Marcos has a lot to do. So if you want to go to Green Hall, that's a great place to go. I think Larry, I'm going to butcher it, but there's a lot of great true country singers that go through this area. The area is also known to host a lot of different festivals. So I know that there's a clay one there. I know that there's probably an art festival down there.
There's a beer festival.
There's beer festivals.
Yeah.
This is one of those ones that is amazing, and depending on when you go, you're going to be able to both be in the water, but you're also going to really experience some really great Texas lifestyle happenings.
And this, the put-in point is what they call the
put-in point?
The put-in point. The San Marcos City Park has a kind of a man-made water slide out of concrete.
Okay, so absolutely. So this is the one that we did in college. And so the crazy thing about this one is that what you're talking about is that cement. Well, it grows moss on it that's about this thick. So what the deal is if you have the right shoes on, you can skate, like stand, and you skate surf all the way out, and then it opens up. And right before you go into like this giant pool of water, you jump and you kind of go over and hit. We had a big time that weekend.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun.
Well, you can, in that same part of the world, you can also go to the Guadalupe River, which is connected to the Comal River we talked about before. This is another one that you can get a really good 4 to 6 hour float on.
Yep.
If you want to do it faster, there are outfitters all up and down the river there that you can get tubes from, you can get canoes from, you can get rafts from.
Right.
And it's really very affordable for the entertainment you get, because it's only about anywhere from $15 to $25 a person for the rental, for the day, for the road trip back.
And and the outfitting is absolutely worth it. So they basically put you in a school bus, load up all the inner tubes, drive you north, you get out, and then 2 hours, 3 hours later, you're at a place, they pick you up and they take you back to where your car is. And that is the way to do it.
It really is.
And don't you, like, typically coolers, pack your coolers, float those, get the tube beside, float those with you?
So there are a lot of rules on those rivers, specific to those rivers. Go read those and make sure that, like, there's no styrofoam that's allowed. There's no disposable packaging that's allowed. They really want you to take everything with you that you brought.
Yep. And you'll understand it. So we talk about some of these rivers and they're really amazing. One of the things is to think about, maybe depending on who is in your party, about maybe not going on the big 4-day weekends, or maybe going during the week, because depending on what you're really wanting to get involved with, it can make a big
Yeah, there
difference.
can be a lot of people. The last one that we're going to talk about today is the Pedernales River. And I have to admit, I have not been to this, but I have heard such wonderful things about it. It flows over exposed limestone, characteristic of that Texas hill country. The Pedernales River is to the west of Austin, southwest of Austin, not as far south as San Antonio, but gets really right there in the middle of that hill country.
So if you're in San Antonio and you go due north on 281, it's north of Johnson City. And so this is, again, the heart of the hill country. And so this is where a lot of people go, and we're going to talk about the rivers and how amazing they are. But a lot of times in this area, this is where a lot of people on cruisers and bikes and convertibles just go and enjoy, because the winding roads are amazing. And this little area of Texas has become extremely popular. It's right in between the San Antonio, and it's outside of Austin, but it's not really hugging 35, this area. And so what we're seeing is that there's a lot more of a migration, and I think more and more Texans even became familiar with it because of the pandemic. They needed to really get out and explore, and a lot of wineries are also happening in this area. So these are great little day trips. You can end them with a nice wine tour as well. But again, this is something that we thought that no matter whether it was 2 or 4-legged little ones that you were taking with you, these are really great trips that you can take for the day or for the weekend.
They really are. So I hope you found this helpful. I hope it's maybe reinvigorated you to get out and try some of these summer things as we kind of get back to some level of normalcy.
Yep. And just remember, we want to be realtors for life.